Hello, this is Valerie Aiello, and you're listening to Idea Diary. Thanks for coming back to my office and hanging out. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I just heard of. I guess it's kind of old. It's a YouTube strategy for building content. I guess YouTube had a YouTube school of some kind, some sort of YouTube class that people would watch, and they would talk about content creation, and they would talk about hero, hub, and help. I guess you would say it's a thing that a lot of YouTube channels that talk about content creation, they know about this phrase. Anyways, I'm hearing it for the first time. So I really did resonate with the idea because I think that is what possibly you're supposed to do. There's this whole thing where you're supposed to niche down and just only talk about one topic to get your channel to grow. And that might be true and that might be helpful, but that's a lot of work if you're not really interested in doing that. And a lot of the YouTubers that I watch that I get a lot of value from, I see them get caught up in the trap to where they're just doing educational content and they want to do other things and they can't, so they'll have to make a second YouTube channel and start from the ground up, which is great if you know what you're doing and you know how to get that whole audience going on some level to where you don't feel like you're talking to no one. You've got to just go with your gut and do what's fun. And if your YouTube channel actually makes it, that's great, because most YouTube channels don't actually make money from YouTube AdSense or, whatever way you think you're just going to magically make money once you start a YouTube channel. And then it takes years and you still haven't yet. There was one podcast, I can't remember the name of it right now, but it just comes to mind. A super successful 6-figure podcast, and they had been podcasting that same show for 8 years before they actually made an income off of it. I know I've talked about that show in another episode, but it has totally escaped my mind. I will never remember what that show is called. But the fact that it did take them 8 years to get something successful going is something that I always remember and never forget, because things take forever, and that's just how it is sometimes. So if you're making a channel or making content and you don't want to fall into the niche trap, which for some people it's not a trap, for some people I could see that it can turn into that. This whole hero, hub, help strategy, I feel like a way to get a lot of different aspects of your personality into your content. So for me, I'm an art director, graphic designer person that also really likes branding or marketing, but also likes music and playing guitar and knowing a lot of tech stuff, filming video, like making music videos. There's just like this overarching creative career person element to me, mixed with indie rock band stuff, mixed with just music in general, music being a huge music snob. I guess you would say I'm like a 90s teenager music snob. So the music snob of today is probably much different than me. But in general, just somebody that worked in record stores, worked at record labels, and like just talking about music. So I'm trying to like mishmash all that stuff together into something valuable. Plus, owning businesses and starting businesses and failing at businesses and book publishing. I mean, there is like a lot to mishmash into whatever in the world it is that I am doing, and it takes time to figure it out. And I'm also not in a rush. I don't need it to be like my full income. I can work on it endless amount of hours, as much as I can figure out and do, and I don't really mind if it's never successful. It's just something that it's a calling, it's fun, I know how to do it, and I'm doing it. As far as the hero hub help thing, I'm going to kind of like rename that to something that kind of means more to me. With hero, I would call that biography content. So, and this is something that I really never thought of doing, but now hearing people talk about this, it is something that I might be interested in doing, like having someone else make a little 5-minute biography of me, or someone else interviewing me to kind of fine tune, like, who am I? What the heck am I doing? And how can I like share that in 5 minutes or less. And that would be like a hero content piece that is just kind of a biography. I'm really not good at explaining myself. For example, the last like 3 minutes of me trying to do it was probably totally almost didn't make sense. Maybe it kind of did. But I think with the hero biography stuff, I don't really know what people want to know or what is interesting. So I might actually like reach out to a friend and say, "Hey, can you help me maybe produce like a little biography piece? I don't know, like a documentary, like a 5 minute documentary about like who am I?" And so maybe that can kind of help explain to people, yes, I'm a crazy lady, but here's some like cool things that I do and stay to hang out with me, kind of follow along in my journey. I'm sort of documenting my business journey here with just talking about everyday things that I come across that are interesting, and I'm archiving it for myself and to share to see if it's valuable to somebody. So the next video content strategy is Hub. I would call that Hangout instead of Hub. What it really means is like, how are you going to hang out with your people that have now decided to follow your journey? How are you going to hang out with them? How are you going to be like internet friends with somebody? And that could be like a weekly, a daily thing. You can make videos, you could live stream. You could get really professional with it. You could get very casual with it. But I think the most important part possibly is just like being consistent, which is one of the harder things to do. I feel like if I've nothing else to think about and I give myself a quest to film a video every day or just something like that to kind of gamify it, I am much better with doing the consistency thing. However, just trying to like fill it into everyday life, I'm not the greatest. I can get sidetracked very easily because, it's not, I don't feel like people are waiting for my next video, waiting for my next episode. If I go live streaming, I don't feel like people are like heartbroken if I don't make it. Whereas there are a lot of people that have people counting on them, and that's part of their day to watch 3 videos or to watch a nightly live stream. I feel like the pressure of somebody excited to listen to you and to hang out with you online does make like life a little easier, but the pressure probably does, get to you after a while. That's the same thing as just having a job. If somebody has a job and they're counting on you to be there and you have to be there or else you don't have a job anymore, I feel like it ends up being not as hard as maybe it might seem in the beginning, or not as hard as it might seem if you don't have it. I think if you have it, you just kind of work it into your life. And the third strategy, which is help, is just searchable content. So what makes you discoverable to somebody who has no idea who you are? What's that video that's going to get them to click on you? And I feel like that's where the teaching part comes in. To say, if you're teaching about making a podcast, you might just do an episode like, I use this microphone, I use this gear, this is my setup, blah, blah, blah. There's something that you're doing that you could teach, or something that's just interesting. Like, I come across a lot of books and I want to share about a book, or I come across a YouTube video that's a huge aha moment. After watching thousands of YouTube videos, there'll be something that is just like blows me away, and I want to share that. This, for example, the Hero Hub Help content strategy, tons of videos about that. I'm never going to be like the top searched video for it, but maybe based on the algorithm and what someone else is watching and what I name a video, maybe they come across my video because they searched the term and they found me, and then they've discovered me. Now they realize, oh, I have a weekly video or I have a nightly live stream. Then maybe they hang out. And then after a while, they're consistent followers. And after they've discovered me with a help video, with something searchable, then maybe they watch a hero video, which I guess you could put like maybe in a channel trailer. It's a little bit easier to look for certain videos that might be interesting of episodes of a show being on a YouTube channel, but it's still pretty bingeable on a podcast. Podcasts have podcast trailers, are usually not very long. There are ways you can squeeze that hero content in. If you could come up with like maybe you do 12 hero content pieces a year, so once a month, and all of those are sprinkled in throughout the month, and you end up really explaining what you do and who you are pretty well. And hopefully somewhere along the way, people can catch it. So I think sprinkling in the help videos, so searchable, discoverable, educational videos mixed with a hero documentary connection video that really explains who you are with a consistent hub, so they call it, I would say consistent hangout style of content. So live shopping, live streaming a show, live streaming, figuring out a game show idea, live streaming a concert, live streaming practicing or drawing. There's something you can do where you can hang out that might not be as much work as constantly making videos, but if you get in the swing of it and you can consistently do a daily or weekly, something to where people can sort of count on it, I feel like that's pretty good little system to where you don't have to niche down. You can be super all over the place and just kind of figure out how to web all those things that you're into together. That's what I'm working on right now. Hopefully I get good at it and I can make it happen. Until then, we are where we are, and it's just going to be a little confusing for the time being, but we're building it. It's happening. I haven't been doing this for 8 years, so I feel like I'm still on the right path, and it's still a lot of fun. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.